My pharmacist told me the pills I'd been taking for 2 weeks weren't heart medication. They were $6 vitamins my daughter-in-law swapped in. Before continuing, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and write in the comments, where are you listening from? The pharmacist's voice on the phone was careful, professional. Mr. Wallace, I need you to come in. There's an issue with your prescription refill. I was in the kitchen making coffee Tuesday morning. Nothing special about it. What kind of issue? The pause told me everything. I'd rather discuss this in person. Can you come in today? My chest felt tight. Not the heart medication kind of tight, the other kind. I drove the 12 miles to Walgreens in silence, radio off, just the sound of tires on wet pavement. March in Oregon means rain, always rain. The pharmacist was young, maybe 30. Her name tag said Jennifer. She led me to the consultation room in back. Small space, 2 chairs, door closed. Mr. Wallace, when was the last time you took your medication? I pulled the bottle from my jacket pocket. This morning. Same as every morning for 3 years. She reached for the bottle, opened it, poured 3 pills into her palm. These aren't your heart medication. The room got smaller. What do you mean? Jennifer's face was serious. These are vitamin C tablets, generic brand. You can buy them at any grocery store for about $6. My hands went cold. That's not possible. I picked this up 2 weeks ago. Right here. She pulled up something on her computer. Yes, sir, you did. March 3rd. I filled it myself. Metoprolol, 50 milligrams. 90-day supply. She held up one of the pills from my bottle. This is not metoprolol. I stared at the small orange tablet. Vitamin C. Someone switched them. Jennifer nodded slowly. That's what I'm thinking. Who has access to your medications? The answer came before I could stop it. My daughter-in-law. She organizes my pills. Jennifer's expression shifted. Does she live with you? I shook my head. No, but she comes by 3 times a week, helps with things. My son James asked her to check on me after the surgery. The surgery? Triple bypass. 14 months ago. That's when Sarah started coming around. Mr. Wallace, I need to ask you something important. Jennifer's voice dropped. Do you have the original bottle? The one we gave you 2 weeks ago? I thought about it. Probably in the trash. Sarah empties everything into my weekly pill organizer. Throws the bottles away. She wrote something down. I'm going to give you your actual medication right now. Free of charge. But I'm also going to make a call. To who? Jennifer looked at me directly. Adult Protective Services. This is serious. Someone deliberately replaced life-saving medication with vitamins. That's attempted murder, Mr. Wallace. The words hit like cold water. Attempted murder. My daughter-in-law, Sarah, who made my favorite pot roast, who drove me to doctor appointments, who called me Dad. I drove home with 2 bottles, one with the real medication, one with the vitamins as evidence. Jennifer had labeled them both. The rain picked up. Windshield wipers struggled against it. I thought about the last 2 weeks, the chest pains that came back, the shortness of breath. I'd mentioned it to Sarah. She'd smiled. Probably just stress, Dad. You worry too much. My house felt different when I walked in. Same blue recliner. Same TV playing the news. Same pictures on the wall. But different. I looked at the photos. My wedding day. Martha in white. 43 years ago. She'd been gone 6 years now. Cancer. James was in most of the pictures. My only son. Sarah was in the recent ones. Her smile looked different now. The phone rang at 6:47 p.m. James. Dad, Sarah said, you went to the pharmacy today. Everything okay? I held the bottle of vitamins. Everything's fine. Just a question about dosage. The lie came easy. Too easy. Good. Listen, we're coming by tomorrow night. Sarah wants to bring dinner. My stomach turned. That's not necessary. James laughed. Come on, Dad. She likes taking care of you. We both do. After we hung up, I sat in the dark. The TV was still on. Some game show. People laughing. I thought about the last year. All the times Sarah had organized my pills. All the times I'd felt worse instead of better. How many times had she done this? Was this the first refill or the 10th? I pulled out my phone. Took pictures of both bottles. The real medication. The vitamins. Jennifer's labels. Then I called my brother. Tom lived in Seattle, retired police detective. Robert? What's wrong? I told him everything. The silence on the other end lasted 20 seconds. Then, Jesus Christ, don't eat or drink anything she brings. I'm calling someone I know, a detective in your area. Tom called back 30 minutes later. Detective Lisa Morrison. She'll be there tomorrow at 10 a.m. Don't tell James or Sarah, I promised. That night, I barely slept. Every sound was Sarah coming back. Every creak was someone at the door. The heart medication sat on my nightstand. Real medication. Finally, real medication. Detective Morrison arrived at 9:52 a.m. Plain clothes, dark hair pulled back, maybe 45. She sat in Martha's chair. I gave her the bottles. She photographed everything. Mr. Wallace, I need to ask some difficult questions. Has Sarah ever mentioned your will, life insurance? Anything financial? The question landed hard because I knew the answer. 6 months ago, she asked if James was the beneficiary of everything. I said yes. She seemed relieved. Morrison wrote it down. What about your assets? Home value? Savings? I did the math in my head. House is paid off. Worth about $425,000. Savings and retirement accounts, maybe $380,000. Life insurance is $200,000. Morrison nodded. So we're talking about roughly $1 million James would inherit. James wouldn't know about this. The words came out defensive. Morrison's face stayed neutral. Maybe not, but Sarah would benefit either way. Does she work? I shook my head. Not since they got married. 5 years ago, James supports both of them. Morrison leaned forward. What does James do? The pride I used to feel was gone now. Pharmaceutical sales. Makes about $190,000 a year. Good income. Why would they need your money? I didn't have an answer. Morrison continued. Sometimes it's not about need. It's about want, greed, control. She pulled out a small device. I'd like to place a camera in your kitchen, hidden, just in case Sarah does something else. Would you consent to that? I thought about it for maybe 5 seconds. Yes. The camera was tiny, looked like a smoke detector. Morrison installed it in 15 minutes. Its voice activated. Records to the cloud. I'll monitor it. She handed me a card. If anything feels wrong, you call me immediately. Don't wait. Don't second guess. Yourself. After she left, I looked around my kitchen, my home of 38 years. Now it was a crime scene. That afternoon, I went through my filing cabinet. Every medical bill from the last year, every doctor's visit, every prescription. I made a list, started tracking when I felt worse, when Sarah had visited, when medications were refilled. The pattern was there, clear as day. She'd been doing this for at least 7 months, maybe longer. The chest pains had started last September. I'd told my cardiologist. He'd increased the medication, But the pills Sarah was giving me weren't medication at all. They were vitamins. I could have died. Should have died. The only reason I didn't was dumb luck and Jennifer's attention to detail. I made a note to send her flowers. At 5:30 p.m., James and Sarah arrived. She carried a casserole dish. "Hi, Dad. I made your favorite, chicken and rice." Her smile was perfect, warm, genuine looking. I wondered how long she'd practiced it. "That's kind of you." James hugged me. "You look good, Dad. Better than last week. Because I was taking real medication now, but I couldn't say that." Sarah set the table. 3 plates, silverware, napkins. She moved through my kitchen like she owned it. "Dad, I noticed you're running low on your blood pressure medication. I'll pick it up tomorrow." My blood went cold. "That's okay. I'll get it myself." She laughed. "Don't be silly. I'm already going to the pharmacy." "It's no trouble." James poured water. "Sarah's right, Dad. Let her help. That's why we set this up." I watched her serve the casserole. Steam rising. It smelled good. I didn't touch it. I'm not very hungry. "Ate a late lunch." Sarah's face showed concern. "You need to eat, Dad. Keep your strength up." The irony was incredible. She was poisoning me and worried about my strength. We sat in silence for a moment. Then Sarah spoke. "Dad, James and I were talking. This house is a lot for you to maintain. Have you thought about selling? Moving into something smaller?" There it was. I sipped my water. "I like this house. Martha and I built it together. Every board, every nail. I'm not leaving." Sarah's smile tightened. "Of course. I just meant, eventually. For when things get harder." James jumped in. "Nobody's pushing you, Dad. We just want you comfortable." I looked at my son, 38 years old. Good man. Good father to my 2 granddaughters. Emma was 12. Lily was 9. Did he know what his wife was doing? Or was he that blind? "I'm comfortable right here." Sarah stood. "Let me get dessert." I brought pie. While she was in the kitchen, James leaned close. "Thanks for being patient with her. She really does care about you." I nodded, said nothing. What could I say? "Your wife is trying to kill me?" Detective Morrison's words came back. "Don't tell James. Not yet. We need evidence. Proof." Sarah returned with 3 slices of apple pie. I didn't touch mine. After they left, I scraped all the food into plastic bags, labeled them, put them in the freezer. Detective Morrison had said to preserve anything Sarah brought, just in case. The house felt contaminated now. I checked every lock, every window. The camera blinked red in the corner, recording, watching, waiting. That night, Morrison called. I reviewed the footage from this evening. "Sarah spent 90 seconds alone in your kitchen when she claimed to be getting dessert. She went through your medication cabinet. Do you keep anything in there besides prescriptions?" I thought about it. Pain reliever, antacids, nothing important. Morrison paused. "Check it tomorrow. See if anything's different." The next morning, I checked. The antacids looked wrong. Same bottle, different pills. I called Morrison. She came by at noon. Tested them with some kind of kit. Laxatives. Strong ones. Prescription strength. My hands shook. Why would she do that? Morrison's face was grim. Dehydration. Electrolyte imbalance. In someone with a heart condition that could trigger a fatal event, and it would look natural. I sat down hard. The chair caught me. "She's really trying to kill me." Morrison nodded. "Yes, sir, she is. And she's been methodical about it. The good news is, we have evidence now. The bad news is, We need more. We need to catch her in the act with something undeniable. Are you willing to help us do that? I thought about James, about Emma and Lily, about what this would do to them. Then I thought about Martha, what she would say. Yes, I'll help. Morrison's plan was simple. Keep taking the real medication. Act like you're getting sicker, weaker. When Sarah offers to help, accept. Let her think it's working. We'll document everything. I felt sick. You want me to pretend to die? She shook her head. I want you to pretend to decline. There's a difference. Can you do that? I thought about it. 43 years with Martha, 6 years without her. Maybe it was time to fight back. Yes, over the next week, I played the part, moved slower, complained about chest pains, called James to say I felt weak. Sarah responded exactly as Morrison predicted. She increased her visits to 5 times a week, brought more food, organized more medications. Each time, the hidden cameras caught her, switching pills, replacing bottles. Once she even added something to a glass of water when I left the room. Morrison tested everything. The water had a diuretic. The pills were various combinations of vitamins, laxatives, and in one case, a blood thinner at triple the dose I should take. She's escalating, Morrison said. She thinks you're close. She's getting impatient. I looked at the evidence bags on my table. 17 different instances, all documented, all recorded. How much more do you need? One more thing. I want her on camera explicitly talking about it. Can you wear a wire next time she visits? I agreed. The device was smaller than a button, clipped inside my collar. Sarah came by the next afternoon, Friday. She brought soup. You look terrible, Dad. Have you been taking your medications? I nodded weakly. Every day. Like you organized them. She sat across from me. Her face showed concern. Perfect concern. I'm worried about you. Maybe we should call the doctor. I waved it off. Doctors can't do anything. It's just age catching up. Sarah leaned forward. You know, Dad, if something happens, James will be okay. We'll be okay. You've set everything up so well. My stomach turned. The will, you mean? The will. The insurance. The house. You've been so generous. She patted my hand. James doesn't know how lucky he is. To have a father who planned everything so carefully. I looked at her directly. You've been very helpful with my medications. I don't know what I'd do without you. Her smile widened. That's what family does. We take care of each other. After she left, I ripped off the wire. Morrison picked it up an hour later. That's enough. We have what we need. She sat down, pulled out a folder. Tomorrow, I'm bringing in the DA. We're pressing charges. Are you ready for what comes next? I thought about James, about the phone call I'd have to make, about Emma and Lily asking why Mommy wasn't home. No, but do it anyway. The arrest happened Monday morning, 6:15 a.m. I wasn't there. Morrison called me at 6:47 a.m. It's done. She's in custody. James was there when we took her. My chest felt tight, the real kind. How was he? Morrison's voice was gentle, confused, angry, in shock. He's asking for you. I closed my eyes. Tell him I'll call him later. I need time. But James didn't wait. He showed up at my door at 8:30 a.m. His face was red, eyes swollen. What the hell, Dad? They arrested Sarah. They're saying she tried to kill you. That can't be right. Tell me that's not right. I let him in. We sat in the living room. I pulled out the folder Morrison had left me. Copies of everything. The pills, the lab reports, the videos. I'm sorry, son. James looked through it all, page after page. His hands shook. No, no, Sarah wouldn't. She's been helping you. I waited, let him process. When he got to the video stills, Sarah switching pills, adding something to water, he went pale. Jesus Christ. His voice broke. Dad, I didn't know. I swear to God, I didn't know. I believed him. I know. He stood up, paced. The girls. What do I tell the girls? I didn't have an answer. James turned to me, tears streaming. How long? How long was she doing this? I checked the timeline Morrison had made. At least 7 months, maybe longer. James sat down hard, put his face in his hands. I asked her to take care of you. I sent her here. This is my fault. No. My voice was firm. This is Sarah's fault. Only Sarah's. You didn't know. You couldn't have known. James looked up. But I should have seen something. Some sign. I thought about that. She was careful. Professional, even. If the pharmacist hadn't noticed, I'd be dead now. The words hung in the air. James started crying. Full sobs. I moved to sit next to him, put my arm around my son like he was a boy again. We sat like that for maybe 10 minutes. Then James spoke. What happens now? I pulled out the paper Morrison had left. Arraignment is Wednesday. DA is charging attempted murder. 1st degree. Premeditated. Could be 25 to life. James went quiet. The girls will grow up without a mother. I chose my words carefully. They'll grow up without a mother who tried to murder their grandfather. That's different. James left around noon. I sat in the empty house, thought about the last year. All the times I'd felt grateful for Sarah's help. All the times James had thanked me for being patient with her. All the times I'd taken those fake pills and wondered why I felt worse. The phone rang. Detective Morrison. How are you holding up? I laughed. It came out bitter. I'm alive. That's more than Sarah wanted. Morrison's voice was professional. The DA wants to know if you'll testify. Grand jury first, then trial if it goes that far. I didn't hesitate. Yes, whatever you need. She paused. Mr. Wallace, this is going to get ugly. Sarah's lawyer will attack your credibility, your memory. They'll suggest you're confused, that you mixed up your own medications. Are you prepared for that? I looked at the pictures on my wall. Martha, James as a baby, our life together. I'm 72 years old. I survived triple bypass surgery. I survived 6 years without my wife. I can survive a defense attorney. Morrison laughed. Fair enough. I'll be in touch. After she hung up, I made myself coffee. Real coffee. Strong. I hadn't felt this clear-headed in months. Funny what actual heart medication will do. The grand jury convened 2 weeks later. I testified for 90 minutes, told them everything, showed them the pills, the videos, the timeline. Sarah's lawyer tried to rattle me. Isn't it true you've been confused since your surgery? That you sometimes forget things? I looked at him directly. I forget where I put my reading glasses. I don't forget someone replacing my heart medication with vitamins. There's a difference. The jury indicted her on all counts. Attempted murder, elder abuse, fraud, tampering with medication. 8 charges total. James called me that night. The DA offered a plea deal. 15 years. I waited. What did Sarah say? James's voice was empty. She turned it down. Says she's innocent. That you're confused. That I should choose her over you. What did you tell her? The silence lasted 10 seconds. I filed for divorce this morning. Emergency custody of Emma and Lily. The judge granted it. She's fighting that too. My heart broke for him. For those girls. I'm sorry, son. James's voice cracked. Don't be. You saved us. If she'd succeeded, if you'd died, we never would have known. We'd have thought it was natural. She'd have gotten away with it. The trial started in July, 4 months after the arrest. I sat in the front row every day, watched Sarah lie from the witness stand, watched her cry, watched her lawyer paint me as a senile old man who couldn't manage his own medications. The jury didn't buy it. How could they? The videos didn't lie. The pills didn't lie. The pharmacist testimony didn't lie. On day 6, the prosecution played the wire recording. Sarah's voice filled the courtroom. You've been so generous. James doesn't know how lucky he is. Then my voice. You've been very helpful with my medications. Her response. That's what family does. We take care of each other. The jury's faces changed. You could see it. The doubt disappeared. They knew. Jennifer, the pharmacist, testified on day 7. Described the moment she realized the pills were wrong. I almost didn't catch it. The color was close, but something felt off. I always trust my instinct. Sarah's lawyer tried to suggest it was an honest mistake. Jennifer shut him down. Metoprolol and vitamin C looked nothing alike under magnification. Someone switched them deliberately. There's no other explanation. The defense rested without calling Sarah back. Her lawyer knew she'd failed. Closing arguments lasted 6 hours combined. The DA was brilliant. Sarah Wallace had motive, $1 million. She had means unfettered access to Robert's medications. She had opportunities she visited 5 times a week. And we have proof. Video evidence of her switching pills. Lab evidence of what those pills really were. Audio evidence of her discussing inheritance while her father-in-law slowly died. The jury deliberated for 3 hours. Came back with guilty verdicts on all 8 counts. Sarah's face went white. She looked at James in the gallery. He looked away. Emma and Lily weren't there. Too young. Better that way. The judge set sentencing for 6 weeks out. Sarah was remanded without bail. As they led her away, she screamed, James, don't let them do this. Tell them the truth. James didn't move, didn't speak, just sat there. I reached over, squeezed his shoulder. After the courtroom cleared, we stood outside. Summer sun. Hot. You okay? James shook his head. I don't think I'll be okay for a long time. Fair enough. We walked to our cars. Dad? I turned. Thank you for staying alive. The words hit harder than any testimony. Thank you for believing me. Sentencing day was August 15th. Hot morning. Courthouse packed. I gave a victim impact statement. Kept it short. Sarah Wallace tried to kill me for money. She didn't care that I was her children's grandfather, that I'd welcomed her into our family, that I'd loved her like a daughter. She cared about $1 million. Money I worked 40 years to save. Money meant for my son and granddaughters. The only thing I ask is that she never profit from this, that she never contact my family again, and that Emma and Lily grow up knowing their grandfather fought to stay in their lives. The judge sentenced her to 25 years without parole. Mrs. Wallace, your actions were calculated, methodical, and cruel. You exploited an elderly man's trust. You endangered his life repeatedly, and you showed no remorse until you were caught. This court has no sympathy for you, Sarah cried. Her mother cried. Her lawyer looked relieved it was over. James sat stone-faced. We left together. Life after the trial was strange, quiet. I kept taking my real medication, went to cardiac rehab, lost 15 pounds. Started feeling better than I had in 2 years. James brought the girls by every Sunday. We made it a tradition. I taught Emma how to fish, taught Lily how to bake Martha's chocolate chip cookies. Neither of them asked about Sarah much. Kids are resilient. 6 months after sentencing, James started dating again. Nice woman, teacher, kind eyes. They took it slow. I approved. He deserved happiness, deserved someone who wouldn't try to kill his father for inheritance money. She came to Sunday dinners. The girls liked her. That mattered more than anything. One night, James pulled me aside. "Dad, I need to ask you something." "Ask." He looked uncomfortable. "The money. The $1 million Sarah wanted. I don't want it. When you go naturally, in like 30 years, leave it to Emma and Lily. Not me. I studied my son." "You sure?" He nodded. "I can't touch it. Every dollar feels like blood money. Like that's what she saw when she looked at you." "I can't." I understood. "Okay. I'll update the will." But that didn't feel right either. The money was tainted now. I thought about it for weeks. Then I called my lawyer. "I want to set up a scholarship fund for nursing students in Martha's name." He drafted the papers. The Robert and Martha Wallace Nursing Scholarship Fund. Fully funded, would help 20 students a year, forever. When I told James, he cried, "Mom would love that. Emma and Lily would still inherit the house." That felt right. They'd have something real, something solid, something Sarah never touched. The rest, the money she'd wanted so badly she was willing to kill for it, would help people, would save lives instead of taking them. Poetic justice. Martha would have appreciated the irony. A year after the trial, I got a letter. Prison postmark. "Sarah." I almost threw it away, but curiosity won. The letter was 3 pages, handwritten, apologizing, explaining. She'd had gambling debts, $85,000. James didn't know. She'd been desperate. Thought if I died, she could pay them off before anyone found out. She said she never meant to hurt me, that she still loved the family, that she hoped I could forgive her someday. I burned the letter in my fireplace, watched the paper curl and blacken, watched her words disappear into smoke. Forgiveness wasn't mine to give. Not yet. Maybe not ever. She hadn't just tried to kill me. She'd destroyed James's faith, stolen Emma and Lily's mother, violated the trust of family. Some things don't get forgiven with a 3-page letter. But I did feel something. Not forgiveness, more like release. The anger I'd carried was heavy, exhausting. I didn't want to carry it anymore, so I let it go. Not for Sarah, for me, for the time I had left. Martha used to say, holding grudges is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. She was right about most things. This too. 2 years after the trial, James remarried. Small ceremony, backyard wedding. Emma was a bridesmaid. Lily carried flowers. I walked James down the aisle because Martha couldn't. His new wife's name was Rachel. Good woman. Loved my son. Loved those girls. Didn't try to poison anyone. The bar was low, but she cleared it easily. At the reception, James toasted me. To my father, who taught me that integrity matters more than comfort, and that family is defined by choice, not blood. I'm 75 now. 3 years since Sarah was arrested. My heart is strong. Cardiologist says I'm doing great. The medication works when you actually take it. Funny how that happens. Emma's in high school, wants to be a doctor. Lily's in middle school, wants to be a chef. They're good kids. James and Rachel had a baby last year, my grandson. They named him Robert. I cried when they told me. Sometimes I think about the what-ifs. What if Jennifer hadn't noticed? What if I'd died? Sarah would have gotten away with it. James would have mourned me, never knowing. The girls would have grown up thinking their grandmother just died of heart failure, natural causes. The perfect crime. But that didn't happen. Because one pharmacist paid attention. Because one detective believed me. Because I chose to fight back. Last month, I attended the first scholarship ceremony. 20 nursing students received the Martha Wallace Scholarship. I shook every hand, told them about Martha. How she'd wanted to be a nurse but her family couldn't afford it. How she'd have been proud to help them. One girl cried. Said her family couldn't afford it either. Said this changed her life. I thought about Sarah, about the money she'd wanted. This was better. People ask if I'm bitter, if I hate Sarah. The answer is complicated. I'm angry at what she did, angry at what she took from James, from Emma, from Lily. But hate? Hate takes energy I don't have. I'm 75 years old. I've had triple bypass surgery. I've buried my wife. I've watched my son's marriage dissolve. I've testified in a murder trial. I don't have energy left for hate. What I have energy for is this. Sunday dinners with James and Rachel and the kids, teaching Emma to drive next year, watching Lily's school plays, holding baby Robert and telling him stories about his great-grandmother, taking my medication every morning, the real medication, watching the scholarship students graduate. These are the things worth energy, worth time, worth life. Someone asked me once if I'd forgiven Sarah. I said I'd done something better. I'd moved on. Forgiveness is for her benefit. Moving on is for mine. She's in prison, will be for another 23 years. I'm here, free, alive, surrounded by people who actually love me, who don't see me as a $1 million payday. That's not forgiveness, that's victory. Last week, James asked what I wanted for my birthday. I said nothing. I have everything I need. A son who believes me, grandchildren who love me, a heart that beats steady, medication that's actually medication, a legacy that helps people instead of hurting them. What more could I want? Martha used to say, "The best revenge is living well." She was right. The best revenge is living. Period. So that's what I'm doing. Living. Every day is a choice Sarah tried to take from me. Every Sunday dinner, every fishing trip with Emma, every batch of cookies with Lily, every moment with baby Robert. She wanted me dead. I chose life. Not just existence, life. Real life. Full life. The kind of life you get when you're taking actual heart medication instead of vitamins. The kind of life that makes all the fighting worthwhile. And I'm grateful. Every single day. Not for what happened, but for what didn't. I'm still here. If you liked this story, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and share your impressions in the comments. To listen to more stories, click on the window on the right. Thank you for being with us.